Hi YouTubers, resellers, and thrifters. My name is Carrie. My channel here on YouTube is Be Carried Away. I'm a sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time reseller, meaning that I go to primarily thrift stores for me, but also estate sales, garage sales. I do some online arbitrage and that sort of thing. Beck wonders who I'm talking to. So I have a big smile on my face because I'm back, and I'm back making videos. I've been out a little bit. I've been taking a bit of a break. I had a surgery, I was sick, and then on top of that, we moved. So we are in our second home sort of apartment because Mike took a new job in the New Jersey area, and so we have a 13-month lease on this apartment. And I can't wait to, in another video, show you the full apartment because it was entirely thrifted and a lot of it was free from Freebie Alert, which is an app that you can get on your phone to find free items in your area. So I'm going to talk about in another video how we did that. We have a home in upstate New York, and so we didn't want to furnish two places. So I put all of my reseller skills to work to furnish the apartment. So that'll be another video. But for today, I just want to get caught up on some of my what sold videos. What sold videos to me are really the most valuable for me to watch. I love to watch other resellers and what they've sold. I do go through almost all of my sales, the high sales, the low sales, and everything in between. So this is going to be my new setup, I think, for most of my videos, and we'll see how it works. I might tweak it a little bit, but I'll be doing most of them from here. And I kind of like that. I think I can get a little more consistency in just getting set up and getting them out there. So I see I just sold something on my, I'm recording on my phone, and I see I just got a cha-ching. So that's cool. Good luck. Okay, it's good luck to do YouTube videos. You make sales while you're doing them. So thank you guys so much for coming back. I'm really excited to chat with you again in the comments and see how everybody's doing. I hope everyone had a lovely Thanksgiving who celebrates, and let's get into what sold. So I'm going way back to September 15th to September 30th. I'm gonna do a couple of these. That's my goal, to catch up, to get up to what's soon to be December. So let's see what sold in the fall. So I'm going to be looking down at my computer and trying not to get too much glare in my glasses. So, okay, the first item is this beautiful fisherman sweater with an embroidered Saint Bernard dog on it. I love picking up these really kind of unique one-off items. For me, those are oftentimes my best sellers, and I purchased this for $4.99 at the Salvation Army, and it sold for $60 plus the buyer paid shipping, and I don't have the all-in price on that for some reason right there, but so it's Acorn is the brand, and you might have seen Acorn making slippers. I see a lot of slippers and do sell those as well, but it's an Acorn wool fisherman sweater with a Saint Bernard dog. Next, a smaller sale, but also a sweater. So people were starting to shop back in September for sweaters. It's always important to get your winter items up in the fall. This was a chunky knit turtleneck with merino wool, which is the best kind of wool. It's the real soft, fine, and easy to wear wool because it doesn't itch, but it does also keep you warm. So this chunky turtleneck knit sweater in merino wool by Adrienne Vittadini. So that sold for $22.60 and $30. The buyer was all in. I do like to give the all in price because I think it helps you as you're figuring out what to buy, how much you're going to get for it, how much is a buyer willing to, you know, take out of their wallet and spend on a particular item. So though you don't make the shipping price, it does help you when you're kind of pricing your items to think about how much a buyer is willing to spend. Is willing to shell out for a particular item. Next is a CNC California. Now this is a good brand for linens and dresses, summer type dresses. I picked this up for 99 cents at my Salvation Army, and it was a little bit off season at the end of September, but it got an offer right away, kind of a lowball offer, but it was $18.99. The buyer was all in for $24.22, and I took it because it was off season and I had just purchased it, so it was a real quick flip. That's not my general business model. I like to be a long tail seller. I'm quite happy to just sit and let the items wait until the right buyer comes along and I get the price that I want. But in a case like that, when it was 99 cents and it was off season, that was a no-brainer. Next was this Vera Bradley hanging makeup cosmetic case. Now I've sold a few of these, but you have to be very careful to comp them because the patterns make all the difference. Condition, of course, and the pattern. And this is an English rose pattern, which is a newer pattern. And so I did sell that for $24.99. The buyer was all in for $33.32, and I purchased that for just $1.99. Also at my Salvation Army, where most of these items are going to be from. Next is just a simple sale, a pair of Nike women's blush pink and white basketball shorts. And these are pink and they do sell, and that's because a lot of schools and organizations will have pink out or play pink tournaments where everybody is wearing pink, and they are fundraising for breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. So I knew that they would sell at some point, and they did for $17.99. Buyer was all in for $22.94. Next, a really cool vintage photo album from the 70s. This I got from an estate sale. I probably paid less than $1 for it. It was in a you know, a group of items that I had one big price for. I have a couple of these photo albums. This one had zodiac signs all over it and a really cool 70s retro design, and I sold that for $25. Buyer was all in for $26.75. So I think I sold that with free shipping, it looks like. Okay, next were these Guess black faux leather shorts, women's size 0 zipper pockets. I sold those for just $20, and the buyer was all in for about $30 total. Just a quick, simple sale. Guess does sell pretty well for me depending on the style. So with that faux leather kind of, so many different ways you can wear those shorts, I did pick them up. Next, another little bit off season, but again, it's not off season in every state or every part of the world. So I do list items any season at any time. eBay in particular has a worldwide audience, and so the buyers will buy coats in the middle of the summer and etc., depending on where it's going. So it's this blue floral sundress by LL Bean, and LL Bean is a great pickup for me almost always. This was in great condition. It had a cinch waist, which was something that I did put in the keywords: cinch waist, cottagecore, and I did put prairie because it does have a bit of that cottagecore prairie dress look to it. And that sold for $36.99. Buyer was all in for $44.94. So that's a nice price on a $1.99 pickup. Next is a Chico's. I do pick up Chico's, and that's as a result of watching YouTube videos. I never used to pick up Chico's, and I saw several sellers who started me on picking up Chico's, and I've done really well with them. One of those sellers, if you sell clothing, because that's all she does, I do recommend her channel. It's called Common Tags, and her name is Courtney, and she has a great channel. She's out in California, so she gets some brands that are completely different from what I might be tuned into here in upstate New York, but she did turn me on to the fact that Chico's has a secondary market. So this was a silk, just a basic blouse. I didn't get a lot for it, but I got $16, and the buyer was all in for $20. And I picked it up for 99 cents. So at a 99-cent sale, I'm willing to go to 16. Next, a really quick and easy sale, because this was brand new in the box and it has a barcode on it. So if you could scan that barcode and just get all your information into the listing super quickly, it's definitely worth a pickup. So this was a bow maker, new in the box by Bodabra, and I sold it for $18.99. The buyer was all in for just under $26. Next, a pair of vintage panties. These are a bolo. Be on the lookout, as Courtney of Bolo Buddies would say. So they have to be new, unused, new old stock in really good condition. And there are lots of tricks into what people are looking for and what makes a vintage piece of lingerie or panties desirable by a collector, but these went for $24.99 and the buyer was all in for $29.14, so almost $30, and I picked those up for just 99 cents. So they were pink, Vanity Fair, which is a great brand to pick up in lingerie, and they were 100% Antron nylon, which is a good key to the fact that they are vintage as well as made in USA. I once sold a pair of vintage panties for $157. So they were on auction. So I do always, because I'm not an expert in everything, I do when it's something like that where I know it could go really high, put them on auction. I did put these pink ones on auction and they didn't sell. So that gave me a sense of what they were valued at, what the market was at, and then therefore I was able to just list them for $25 and they sold pretty quickly. Next, a pair of Doc Martens. Obviously, great brand to pick up. I don't find them very often, but when I do, I'm always happy because they go pretty well. So I picked these up for $5.99 at my Salvation Army, and I was able to flip them for $68.99. Buyer was all in for quite a bit, $84.93, so almost $85 on a pair of used Doc Martens. These were the original men's black leather Oxford lace-ups. Next, a bag that I'd sitting around for quite a while, but it sold for $19 by Hush Puppies. It was a really pretty silver metallic color, just a basic tote. I paid $2.99 and sold it for $19. Buyer was all in for $26.96. Next, something that sold really quickly. I had this in my death pile. For some reason, it just wasn't, something I was eager to get up there and posted, but it sold within a day. And it's this 1980s paisley skirt and blouse set. It's plus size, so a size 18. And the keywords that I put in there were secretary and geek. So this secretary and geek look has been in for a while and is still in. And I do recommend that if you find these kind of vintage 80s items, inexpensively enough, it's worth picking up. So I picked these up for just $1.99 for this set. It was half price on the day that I bought it. $22.99. The buyer was all in for $30.39. So a very quick sale. Next, a really, really sweet vintage dress. It was a maxi dress in this really pretty yellow color, yellow and white, with an abstract sort of cottagecore design, flutter sleeves, which are the little sleeves with the frill on the end, and it was polyester. So I do think it's important to put polyester into the keywords in a case where it's a vintage dress like this. So this I picked up for $4.99, and this was a great sale. I sold it for $59.99, and the buyer was all in for $73.33. So that's a great sale. Next, a t-shirt that, my computer doesn't want to slide there. There we go. Okay, next, a t-shirt that is a vintage t-shirt. So it had single stitch along the sleeve and the bottom. If you don't know what single stitch is, it's worth Googling that, looking up some sellers who do a lot of vintage t-shirts. Keywords, Fahrenheit roller coaster graphic t-shirt. It was from 2010, so not quite really that vintage, but it's an older Hershey Park roller coaster t-shirt, and that sold for $22.99. Buyer was all in for just under $30. Next, a shirt I had around forever. I wouldn't pick this up again. It was an I Love New York t-shirt, which of course we all love up here, but this was new with tags, so I picked it up on 99-cent day. It sat for like a year and a half, because they're just easy to find. And someone finally bit on mine and bought mine for $16.99. All in price was $22.88. Next, a pair of Clarks. Clarks are a great brand of shoes. Shoes are one of my favorite items to sell. I'm very fortunate in that my Salvation Army only puts out shoes in really good condition and very clean. So I don't have issues with cleaning shoes. That might be something different if I was always finding kind of, shoes that needed a lot of work. I might not be so enthusiastic about them as I am. But depending on what you can find and what you get, that's definitely something to think about. So these are the Clarks Janie May Oxfords. Now, sometimes the shoe will have inside the shoe the actual name of what it is. Other times you can just put the shoe into Google Lens and usually you can come up with the style name pretty quickly and pretty easily. So I think that's what I did with these. So they were the Janie May Oxfords and they sold for quite a bit of money, $58.99. I don't have my exact price that I bought them for, but I know that it was under probably $8. About $7.99 is tops for my Salvation Army shoe prices other than boots. Next, another great sale. This was 49 cents in my Salvation Army in the scarf bin. Now this scarf looked very unusual to me, and that's what I gravitate for. It caught my eye, it caught my attention because it was so different. And sure enough, I was able to look at this brand and find that it was made in New York, Native American Indian made scarf or sash with some with a print of beads, and it was Heyoka. So that sold for $40.15. So I turned 49 cents into a $40 sale, and the person who got it just loved it. They were all in for $50.05. Next, through September, John Muir, who is a naturalist, and he was used on a North Face t-shirt. So North Face is pretty much always a pickup for me. This t-shirt sold for $23.99 and I was able to pick it up for just $1.99, so that's an easy sale. And the buyer was all in for a little over $30. Next, something that's sat just forever and ever. So I have the space, I have an attic space where I keep bins and racks and shoe racks, and I have plenty of safe space to keep my clothing, so I do not return items to the thrift store. I'm really pretty fortunate in that almost everything does sell eventually, and this is a case of that. I think they had this for 2 years. This was a Puma cream velour track jacket. Maybe just the time was right? These are in style, and it sold for $16.99. I don't have down what I purchased it for, but I'm sure it wasn't much. And the buyer was all in for $26.41. Next, a pair of shoes. This is another great brand, Jambu. So these comfort shoes, these Dance Goes, Jambu, Sonita, some brands of Clark's, these are good sellers because they're very expensive to buy, and people need them really if you're working on your feet or if you have any foot issues or anything like that. These are the kinds of brands that will sell. So these are by Jambu. These are memory foam, Wildflower, Mary Jane flats. And same thing, I'm sure that I looked up the style. Some of it was written on the inside of the shoe, and then I probably looked it up through Google Lens. These sold for $44.99. The buyer was all in for almost $52, and I purchased those for $5.99. So that's a great flip. Love my shoes. Next, a really great flip. This was something that was overpriced at my Salvation Army, and it did not sell until 99-cent day. Sometimes the Salvation Army will price things too high for my area, and when they do, I don't, even though I know it's something that I probably would like to pick up and it would sell, I'll wait. I know nobody's gonna buy a jacket for $20 in my area, even though this was new with tags, and it was Ann Taylor, and it was wool, so it had a lot going for it. So I bought this for 99 cents and I flipped it for $74.99. I took a best offer on that. Buyer was all in for $87.65. So excellent flip, and that I was able to do because I waited it out at the Salvation Army. I knew it was just a little overpriced for the thrift store prices in my area. So if you do go to the same store over and over and over again, you do get to know, kind of what's gonna sell, what's not gonna sell. It's a gamble for sure. That could have been gone when I went back for it, but it wasn't. I got lucky. Next, a Nike dry fit long sleeve sweatshirt, black pullover. This was a men's size 3X. These are always a good pickup. Nike's a great pickup, and a 3X in men's is almost always a great pickup. Harder to find size, and I sold it for just $19. Buyer was all in for $31.88. I believe that was that went to Canada. Next, a Victoria's Secret tote. This was in brand new condition. Victoria's Secret totes can be hit or miss. There are lots of them out there. but people do love them. So if they're in great condition, if you get it inexpensively enough that you can make a good profit on, you know, this one went for $23.99, so I picked it up for $2.99. Buyer was all in for $34.18. So definitely something to look at, but they are hit or miss. Next, this item was, I got this for free. I decided against it, and for some reason the cashier at the counter just said, oh, just take it, and threw it in. So I said sure, and I listed it. It sat for quite a while, so I had decided I'd throw it in my cart. When I was shopping, I decided I didn't want to get it after all, and it was Disney Parks, so that's can be sometimes a good pickup, but it was an unusual item. It was kind of this frilly pink top that almost looked like a skirt or a skater skirt, but that did sell for $14.99, and the buyer was selling for $22.35. So hey, if it's free, 15 bucks is 15 bucks. Same with these next two sales. These were both free on Freebie Alert, which is the app you can get on your phone. I was right near this town. I happened to look through my Freebie Alert. Somebody was giving away 4 Nike tops that had all been dry cleaned. They were just immaculate, as well as 4 Brooks Brothers tops. It was 8 total. It was definitely worth me driving over there and picking them up. These were the first few to sell. One sold for $28.99 and one sold for $15. So I don't know what's going on there. I just probably took a best offer on the first one, and the second one sold for full price. So they were free. You know, I'm not gonna quibble about it, but one literally went for double the other, but they were free. And I've got 2 more here for the end of September. I've got this Nike Golf, which is also something I would recommend picking up. Nike Golf, if you get it inexpensively enough. It sold for $18.99, and the buyer was all in for $25.61. It was this really cool purple heather color. And next was this Vanity Fair house coat. Now, I sold a lot of house coats and robes and things over the lockdown and the pandemic. They're taking a little bit longer to sell, I believe, like now, but this one sold for a good price, $33.99, and I had purchased that for just $2.99. Buyer was all in for $45.20. So that's it on eBay for September 15th to September 30th. Let's go over and see what sold on the other platforms. Okay, so let's get right into what sold on Poshmark. So the first item is this vintage truckers hat. So vintage truckers hats are definitely a be on the lookout, and Courtney from Bolo Buddies has a entire video over on her channel dedicated to what to look for in these trucker hats. So definitely go check out her video if you're interested or you think you might, you know, have access to find some of these. So be on the lookout for them. I did sell this one for $28. I picked it up for just 99 cents. And that's kind of the beauty of these hats, is that they generally can be purchased very inexpensively, and then they'll sell from bread and butter like this $28 sale to way, 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 way up. Okay, so next was this Bungalow 360. This is a brand that I do like to pick up if it's in really good condition, if the item is cute, and in this case it was a no-brainer because it was brand new with tags and cute. It had a whale theme. So this was new with tags, called the Happy Whales tote bag in canvas. It took a while to sell, but it did sell for $30, and I picked it up for $2.99. Next is one of a group of items that I have had forever and ever and ever, and for whatever reason this past few months, this fall, I've sold lots and lots of things that have been listed over a year and a half, and I didn't really even drop prices on them necessarily, but I did take very lowball offers on some of them just to say, you know, bye Felicia, it's time to go. But that's part of my strategy. So rather than turn it in, redonate it, get rid of it, I just keep it. I'm lucky and fortunate that I have the space to do that. And so this merino wool quarter zip men's purple pullover, I think it was Banana Republic, and it sold for $15. Next, a really great sale. This was a pair of brand new Terran Rose black suede and leather booties. I knew these would sell more towards fall, so that's something that they would be sitting for a while maybe. The brand new price on those was $4.95. They were sold at Macy's. So I sold them for $100. So I did a great sale for me. I think I paid $5.99 or $6.99 for them. These fly under the radar at my Salvation Army. They don't get really marked up like some brands might. So I can still pick them up really cheap. I do have another pair of Terran Rose listed as well. But it's a great brand because people love the comfort matched with the, that's the train. So we live right next to the train that goes into New York City. It's literally across the street. So we love it. I love hearing it. I love the vibe. It's super cool. Anyway, back to the Terran Rose. So these booties sold for $100 and plus shipping obviously on Poshmark. And they were new at $4.95, sold at Macy's. Next was a pair of Spring Step leather blue green sneaker clog type shoes, and I sold these for $25 on Poshmark. Next, the theme must be comfort shoes. The Terran Rose was started by a woman who was an orthopedic surgeon and went into fashion and gave up her practice as an orthopedic surgeon to open her shoe designer brand. So the idea was to match style with comfort and form with function, which is the same with Spring Step and also the same with this next sale, which is Dansko, obviously. So these Dansko jute vegan multicolored striped rocker sole clogs sold for $40, and I picked those up for just $5.99. So that's a great sale on Poshmark. Next, another great sale. I love this sale. This is a vintage wool blend sweater with the shawl collar with this really, really fun, cool leopard or animal print, and I sold that for $50. I picked that up for $2.50. It was marked $4.99 and I got it on a half price day. So really nice sale. That's the kind of sale that I love with a vintage sweater like that. If you can take a sweater for $2.50, turn it into $50, and a Poshmark sale, easy to just pack it up in its priority mail and off it goes. Next, Vince Camuto. I don't pick up a lot of Vince Camuto. These sat for a long time. They were a braided cage wedge slingback sandal, and they were 9.5, beautiful condition, but even so, they sat for quite a while. So I did get $24 for them, and I paid $7.99. So that's not the best of a sale, and I'm really, really much more careful picking up Vince Camuto now, though I do pick it up. Next, Woolrich, one of my favorite bread and butter brands. This was a long sleeve burnout t-shirt. So the burnout pattern is where you have some thicker material and then some thinner material in a sort of a pattern. So it's called burnout. This was a cream long sleeve t-shirt, $23. Purchased for $2.99. Next, another great sale. This was part of my New with Tags Zara pickup. I believe that my Salvation Army and others that I had been to had some sort of a deal to take merchandise from Zara because they had all kinds of New with Tags stuff. So I did pick up quite a bit of it. It was marked up a little bit, but a lot of it has already sold for a really good price. So I think I paid $9.99 for this dress, New with Tags. This was a neoprene dress, so this was bodycon or body conscious. Had balloon sleeves, and it was in a nude beige color. So I never put just nude because it can be there's so many shades of people's skin. So this was a nude beige to me. So balloon long sleeve, and that sold for $72 on Poshmark. Next was a fun, just quick bread and butter sale, Yeti Coolers. Everybody loves Yeti Coolers. They're very expensive to purchase, and this was just a long sleeve hoodie and a size women's small, and it sold for $25. I picked it up very inexpensively, maybe I think it was $2.99 or $3.99. Next was my final sale on Poshmark for that 2 weeks of September. Was just another item that I probably would not pick up again. It was a Skippy Jones backpack, super cute, super lightweight. I paid 99 cents for it. It was new with tags, so I picked it up, but I only sold it for $10 on Poshmark. So, you know, nice quick sale, very easy to stick it in a poly bag, etc. But I don't think I would have picked that up again. Okay, so let's go over and see Facebook Marketplace and Mercari, the other two platforms that I do sell on. Okay, so I had a few sales on Mercari for that same time period. Again, it's not my main platform, but I have been listing more and more on there using List Perfectly, which I love. So first were these Adidas black floral joggers. I picked these up for just 99 cents and they sold for $21, and the buyer does pay shipping on my Mercari site. Next was another Chico's item, and this was a Chico's Travelers. Now Chico's has vanity sizing, so a size 1 is equivalent to basically a women's size medium, I believe, medium or large. Do I have it in there? Let me just go to view order, but you can easily look that up. And size 1, I don't have it here. But this was a cardigan jacket top, really shimmery, shiny, metallic, cobalt blue, embroidered. It's the Travelers line, which is great because these items, I mean, you can ball them up in your suitcase and you take them out and, you know, they look great. So these are fun to pick up, and that did sell for $26 and the buyer paid shipping. And then I had one other item, which was a pair of Banana Republic. These were the Sloan cropped pants, and I know that because they were new with tags. So again, I picked these up for $1.99. I do not pick up Banana Republic, but they were new with tags, and I believe it was also the size, oh, well, they were super cute as well, but yeah, they're size 12 petite, and they were stretch pants. And so that's an unusual size. It's harder for people to find. There's less of it on line, and so brand new with tags, I knew that that would sell pretty well, and it did sell for $25 plus shipping. So that's it. I didn't have any Depop sales. I had stopped listing on Depop, and then out of the blue just this week I had a really great Depop sale. So I think I'm going to start going back to Depop as well and just using List Perfectly to just put some really fun and funky items over there. But during the end of September I didn't have any sales over there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having really great fourth quarter sales, and I hope you learned something from what I've sold, and we will see you soon. I plan to be here more and more. Okay, bye.